Okay, g'day everyone. Welcome to the Forbidden History Chronicles. Yay! Good to see you all here. Just let me have a look at the chat before we get into the intro. G'day Jackie and Jennifer and Forbidden History Archive. Well, and Linjaneer and there you are, and Yogeneer. I love you guys. And Raymond, g'day. And Riles, g'day. How's it going? Good to see you all here. Anyway, we'll get into the introduction. You're listening to the Forbidden History Chronicles with NinjaCat 111 and Dezert-Owl from the Forbidden History. From the Forbidden History series YouTube channel and what is now Forbidden History Archive. Okay, the signs of the times. Oh, and if you haven't subbed, all the links are in the description. Please go there and subscribe. They're amazing. Both channels are absolutely amazing. Okay, the signs of the times. In essence, Desert discusses the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of time. Who they are and how they have founded all of the first great civilizations that are found all around the world, about who the giants really were, and the ancient Aryan caste and slave systems, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity V-manners, the Earth-based misnomered UFOs which are man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc. It is the grand deception that is used to control all of mankind, and all instituted through the three main religions of the world in particular, used as their grand cover. Their cybercode has been revealed to him because he has become adept within the study of the ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology, and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. He can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical phoenix. Desert discusses the ultimate in mind control, and ancient art, and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time, through the nations that they have created, which are all imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess, who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, and print media, while he can see, read, and interpret most all of it. It all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective constructive labour, for experimentation, and in the end, they intend to kill us all. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the old world order from the beginning of time. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it, but they are cleverly leaving us in the dark, hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, so that when it comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and disease that has been generated from all of the poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemtrails to fluoride in the water to tainted vaccines to fake food, etc., etc. They have enslaved us all by the clever means of deception, because we, most all, are their cattle, chattel, property, and because they merely wanted to harness our labour, what they always needed, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate, but they are all through with us now. It is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and decent people on planet Earth deserve to know. And that was written by Dezert-Owl, who I would love to welcome to the program as soon as I turn on your microphone. And could we get a sound check from the chat, please? Welcome, Desert. How's it going? Wait a minute, you're not working. You're not, you're not working. I have to reset your audio. Hang on a second. There's no me to read. Okay, okay, I know how to do this. Okay. 1 second. Yeah. My OBS has just turned white. Okay, here we go. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. This has been happening with every live stream. Possibly, because I haven't done anything different. I just... Nobody can hear what you're saying, and you're funny, Desert. Guys, Desert's being funny, so yeah. Hey Kip, how's it going? Okay, sorry guys. Create light, please. Yeah. May I please ask for your light creation, guys, for this to work? Okay, Desert, say something, please.
Something.
Woohoo!
Anything. Is it coming through?
Yes.
Well, great. It's great to be here.
Welcome.
And thank you. Okay. and stuff happens. You got gremlins over there. I told her Jack the Ripper must be next door. He's constantly ripping everything in there, and I don't know, how that technology. That's why I'm happy just to talk, Ninja, and let you do all the driving.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
and
Does it? Yep. That's what I
yep,
do best. Yeah.
nice, nice pick, nice pick. You put some red to it, and you grabbed that from uh, an archive somewhere. So that's a beautiful picture because we're walking through the pages of time, basically, ladies and gentlemen. Want to welcome all of our friends and any new listeners that are on the broadcast. If you're hearing this for the first time, then you're hearing it for the first time, okay? Because nobody is is piercing the veil the way we are on Forbidden History. Just to set the record straight, not to brag, I coined the term Forbidden History back in 1997. I produced the Forbidden History catalog. So that was 22 years ago. And so on the internet, I was the first one to come on with Forbidden History, and now it's everywhere. And so, it's not my term, but it's the term that I coined.
Yeah.
As When I was a political activist, because I had recognized that everything was a grand deception and a grand illusion, and so we have to pierce that veil, and we have to go places where they don't want us to go. Actually, we've even got people trying to disrupt our work here on this broadcast and our other broadcasts, so that we don't get the message out. They're doing everything behind the scenes to defeat that. We don't bother anybody out here. We give freely, um, and we put it on the table. We're not going to try to convince you of anything. But mind you, a few people right here do get it. Okay, and that's Lynn Mitzi right there. She absolutely is on pay ahead of me. Usually when I'm ready to give the answer, she's already got it. She's been a student of scripture all of her life, and then also Ninja, of course, just recently, but within last year, because this is a true science, and because it is an exact science, although we're dealing with two types of codes, one of a priesthood and one of the original thought. Ninja's getting it. It's easier than Greek and Hebrew, and Shelley gets it. That's why she's producing me on for a Forbidden History Archive, ladies and gentlemen, formerly Forbidden History Live, but we changed the name a little bit to Forbidden History Archive. Okay, that actually title is the correct terminology. I was going to say word. Word is war, and the war of death. The word, but put an S in front of it, and you get sword. How come these when you do these things, is it telling you something? And just like in the Greek, it's logo. In the beginning, they said was. It should be is. Was the logo, and the logo was theos. Was theos, so not is theos. Theos for God. Well, and God is a corrupt term too. All these terms are not original terms, and so what's going on? Can we get back home with a roadmap where somebody has changed all the words? The Ashavors, there's the original, the Ashavor. Well, the bottom line is words are not what you think, ladies and gentlemen. They gave us words that kill. Okay, words that kill us, and they killed us. They did. Words are the road signs of history, but if they've changed the signs, just like Kip was a truck driver right there. Imagine Kip, everybody decided to just put whatever they want on the sign, then there was no standardization, right? Of or what do you want to say? Permanency within all the geographical locations, and now they changed the street numbers, they changed the street names, changed the signs, just whatever day they feel like doing it, because you'll never be able to get back to Kansas, obviously, or Illinois, or I'm not sure where you moved to, but so words are the road signs of history, and they're pointing towards something. If you know the meaning of the Eshavor, if you know the meaning of the word, if you and also throw that in with the Forbidden History, because they've changed the names of places and things. Yeah, you'd never get home, obviously, and you'd lose your job, and you'd have to eat all your freight, because you can't even deliver it. So words are not supposed to control you, but words, to use the idea of the road sign, are supposed to guide you. You're in Missouri. Congratulations, one of the best places to be when the cataclysmic floods come. Kip, yeah, you're up on high ground. That's where a lot of Navy intelligence people go because they're in intelligence and they know it's coming. But words are not supposed to control you because you are supposed to be in control of the words. And so they're supposed to be like guides. And when you know the value of a word, meaning the parent roots that are in there, whether it's one letter or two letter or three letters, then all of a sudden you're reading now not just a word or an Aishavor, but you're reading a combination, a compound thought. Compound because you got more than one letter. One letter by itself is worth um, perhaps a dozen words, very possibly. Um, and so so once they've changed our words, ladies and gentlemen, then we were no longer able to get back home. Okay, so it's like being almost there. But can you be almost there when it says that we have to, put on the full nature, the full nature? It's a metaphor for as armor, but really it's about putting on the full nature of Yeshua, and then separating from this world. But how can we be using false narratives if Yeshua came to give us the enlightenment, and that's what he meant, what it meant when he said that Elijah had come, because it literally means the illuminated eye, the eye of enlightenment. The eye of enlightenment. It's not the royal eye. Excuse me, the royal eye of enlightenment. A Shah, Ulesha. You see, and so once you now know the original, all of a sudden it has meaning, and so it's the royal. So in other words, they weren't saying, "Oh, we're looking for this guy," this guy Yolganun.
This
Yolganun. What does
guy.
Yolganun mean? You see, Yolganun. It means the garden at high noon that goes round. Okay, so in other words, it means the apex, the highest point, the zenith of something that's about to happen. And so it wasn't like you were looking for some guy named Elijah. No, we're looking for the eye of enlightenment that goes round. The eye of enlightenment. Get it? You get it, Ninja?
I do.
Okay? The eye of enlightenment, that we are no longer under the control of another, but have given control to the one who made all things, and he's the one who opens our eyes, and now we can see. That's why he healed more blind people than anything else, because it was to tell us that we are blind, we can't see, and we need to see and read it for ourselves. So as we like to do at the beginning of our broadcast, we go into the Ashavors. And by the way, I meant to mention the Greek, which says logo. And, not even people don't even wrap their mind around the word that's sitting right in front of them, right? A logo. Nobody even knows what a logo, like, they talk about, he's the logos, and, in the Greek, and then he used the word in, the King James priesthood, anglers, the hookers, they got us on the hook. When let's look at the meaning of the word. The Greek is logo, and then put an S in front of word, and you get sword. Well, then sword is a logo, and so what is the logo? And the logo is the light. It is the sun, ladies and gentlemen, the great logo telling us every day where we came from. Everything fell from the light. That's the mother star. Without it, we're dead. And so when all power was given unto Yeshua, right? He said, all power is given unto me. Well, guess what all power is? All power is like Yeshua just letting the sun do its thing every day, never takes a break, never goes to sleep, keeps on ticking. Now that's all power. That's just one example of the all power, because he's doing it in the entire universe. Everything. It's a power that's beyond our wildest imagination. And so these terms that have been switched out have therefore denied us the ability to follow the road back to the light, back to the sun, because all of our lives we've gone through our daily routines, and we don't even give any credit to what that great logo up there is. It is a symbol of the heart and the very nature of the great Father who made all things in the universe, and his pure seed and sun. There's the word sun, because sun means a star. Same word, S-U-N-S-O-N, is a star. Okay, and so this is all the the foundation of what has been denied to us. They don't talk like this at the Masonic Jesuit bullpits anywhere, And so, like, here's the example. Okay, so sun. Okay, the word heaven is a code. Heaven is a code. I told you it's the even. He is the word the. Okay, if we relate it back to the Hebrew terminology, he is avan. So it means the even, and the evening is the evening, and that's when the sun goes down. So they give us what is called the black sun. You see, just like in the well, I'll just, before I go to chronic, the word chronic is rather interesting. I'll do it right now. I'll jump in the middle here with this and I'll go back to heaven. Chronic literally means the black sun. So you see the roots here, CHRON, and then we'll split it, NIC, which correctly would be more NIKH in the Indo-Germanic, okay, but it means, let me type it there, black sun.
Desert, I have a wow regarding that as well, just so you know.
Right. Yeah. So just to point out that kron, as you know, is corona. That's also the word for crown, right? And so that's the sun, the corona, and then nick means secret. You put the knack in the nick, the knick-knack. You put it in the secret place, right? The nick is, like you have a nickname. They say you have a nickname. It means what's your secret name, right? Your secret name is your nickname. Only your family know it, right? And so and then you got ick for darkness. And so when you say I'm chronic, you're literally saying I'm black. I'm a black star. I'm a black, sun. Okay, and this is as close as we can get to that original thought on this particular terminology. In other words, they didn't say I'm a black sun if I'm chronic, but it implies your light has been put out. You're dark.
Wow. Yes.
Say yeah. So okay,
yes.
Ninja, go ahead, and then I see Kip's got a comment here.
Okay. Just adding to your light has been put out. Reminded me of how when you look into somebody's eyes, you can see their inner light, if it's shining or if it's not.
And the eye is the window to the soul, so to speak, right? In the mind.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to chronic, we were talking about Chronicles, because this is the Forbidden History Chronicles, and we've kind of dropped Chronicles from the title.
Well, but not on the name of the program, because there's no room on the thumbnail.
Yeah. Anyway, and you mentioned the newspaper Houston Chronicles that brought back a delayed memory, because I don't read newspapers. We have a newspaper here called Chronicle. It's a free local newspaper called Chronicle. And trying to go back to my thought regarding that. Mainstream. They call newspapers chronicles. And literature. You see the word chronicles everywhere to do with literature.
Okay. And so what it's implying is the chronic.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, chronic. Yeah.
Well, it implies the black sun. Remember the occult? Bring us the black sun. They put a cross in front of the circle, and the cross, as we see in Catholicism, it's a circle, then it's a perfect cross, like an aspirin cross. And so it implies black sun. So that's what it. That's why chronic is not. There's something. It could mean mystery. So chronicles, and call is cultivation. So it's the gathering of the mysteries of light. That could be also a way to read it. You see, there's a positive and a negative at the same time.
Duality.
But when we say we're sick, we say we're chronic. So we see it from the dark side, and not another implication of mystery. It's no mystery. You're feeling sick. Okay, so heaven, was that it, Ninja, on your point?
Yeah, just wowing now. Okay. Yep, please continue.
All right, so heaven in Sumerian and Hittite is I'm in. I am letter I M I N. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I skipped over Kip, real quick. Okay, desert. So the ASHA is imprinted in our hearts. Um, yeah, the message of light. Let's put it that way, Kip, is imprinted in our hearts. The message of light. Okay, because if you're gonna like you because you're saying ASHA, which we know in our modern is word. So you're saying is the word imprinted in our heart? Well, the vibrate. We got to use go further than that. We could say maybe the vibration is put in our heart. So when we hear the right signal, based on whatever terminology we want to use, it could be as corrupt as all get out. But if we can get suddenly the connection, a deeper meaning behind what the corruptions that have come to us, pierce the veil, see through it. In other words, there's an imprint on our heart that will all of a sudden wake up and say, "Yeah, I get it, I see it,"
Yeah.
and then you can run to it, you know, because in other words, there is a duality within our nature. One is in the fall, and one is from the higher. It's the spirit. That's what we really are. We're really spirit. So we're looking for triggers. You know, we're hoping something will trigger, like when we try to communicate to a friend, right? We want them to know about the greatness of the Father of Light and His Son Yeshua. The Mo Eshayanke. There's the more primitive, right, for Messiah, Mo Eshayanke. And yeah, so we're trying to grab at words, right? We're trying to grab and how do we reach them? So maybe an action might speak louder than words, right? And so we're going to love our enemies and give them a glass of water even though they don't deserve it, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the challenge we face is how we have to see and read it for ourselves first. And so how can we be lost in a vocabulary that is false in its narrative? In other words, the word Lord God, which correctly then you can take back if you do a little homework to Elohim, or excuse me, Yahweh, who is Elohim, or who is the great Elohim, we should say, because the sun is the prime symbol of Elohim, as well as the planets and the moons and the stars, all Elohim. And that means enlightened, that which is enlightened. And that's what we are supposed to be. But the correct terminology is more specifically Yahweh for Yahweh, Yahweh, who is the great Ulav Haim. Ulav, there's the word love. That's where it comes from, the Ulav Haim, Haim, plural, the breath of the many. Haim, the breath of the many, Haym. You see, not AIM, because that's how they spell it in the corrupt form. The I is a blind, So this is the science. I repeat it, often on the broadcast here, so that people will start getting it. So we're waking up, and when you wake up, we don't want to use somebody. Why should they change my words? I don't want people changing my words. I want the originals. That's all I care about, because it will take me back home, and that's what we're trying to convey here. Okay. So in the Sumerian and Hittite, heaven, okay, I'll just type these in. That's the best way to do it, I guess. So I'll use the word heaven first. And then Sumerian and Hittite is IMIN. And there's a real problem here, AMEN. Okay, and then AMANN. And ALMON. Okay, and so we'll throw that in there. And but so it's supposed to represent the sun, right? The sun. Okay, and so but it isn't. It's not, because as I said, heaven is the even, and the evening. Okay, the even. Heaven, you can see it, Ninja, right? You can see the forms
I can see
are
it.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Eve,
Everything's
right in the middle.
reversed. Yeah.
Yeah, and Eve originally is AVA. There's your word for
Yeah.
aviation, to fly like a bird. Ava of the sky. The woman represents the light of the sun. Virgin Mary represented the light of the sun, the pure virgin light that came down in her seed, that was implanted in her, the seed that was implanted in her. And so look at these words now. Okay, so heaven, we get the picture, it's evening. Then the Hittite, look at it's I, min. And remember I said that the letter I is a blind to totally cloud us. So
Yeah.
so I equals blind. and then the MN equals darkness, because the moon is darkness, you see. And I should have used a different symbol there, but so the blind moon. So they replaced what we were just talking about, the black sun, okay? And so they occult everything. That's what the occult does. They hide the light.
Yeah.
And we're getting some flashing on our screen, just so you know, Ninja. I don't know
Yeah,
what that
yeah.
is. Yeah.
It's a glitch in the
Okay.
OBS.
Okay, gotcha. All right,
Yeah.
so Imin in Sumerian Hittite, so already either are interpreters of the original script, which is Aramaic, by the way, and not Anunnaki. I'm sorry, to knock everybody that follows that, but if we go back to Waddle in the 1800s, there were no Anunnaki. Okay, clearly this was an Aryan culture, Sumerian. Oh, there it is, Sumerian. You can hear it, right? Sumerian. It's Aryan culture, and also sister to Maitzar, falsely called Egypt. Hey, Jet, good to have you.
Hey, Jet.
And yes, she's our rogue ace reporter on the scene. I can't get over it, Jet. She is a classic out there trying to clean up corruption. I wish she could do it.
Yeah, that'd be
Keep us
cool.
posted, Jet. You're always welcome to give us a report. Okay. So Imin then is not correctly, because it would be Amen, right? So we see Amen, but look at, we still get the the moon, right? Amen is a moon. So literally what amen means is the eye of the moon. You see, and so I'll type it because I know the chat's going up.
Yeah. Can I jump in and
Okay.
say that I see the word men in amen? So
Uh,
when you say that, you're referring to men, which is backing up what you're saying. Yes?
I didn't get that because I was typing, Ninja. You're saying say it again.
I see the word men in amen, and which is
Well,
backing up what you're saying.
right, but remember the word men, and man means criminal and sinner in Old English, and in the Babylonian Talmud it means worse. Okay, like you're as I don't there, it's been 20 years since I read the definition that came out of the Talmud, and I don't remember to paraphrase it, but it's like, okay, Old English, it means criminal and sinner. So it's a seed of darkness, okay, something of that nature, maybe out of the Talmud. So get the picture. The moon is a dead star, right?
Yeah,
It only
yeah,
reflects light. It doesn't give
yeah,
light. It reflects it. So there's your Lucifer. She's looking pretty good, but she's got nothing in her, no substance. She's a dead star for the occultic. And so the point is that when we're saying Amun, Amen, we're saying the eye of the moon or the eye of darkness.
yeah.
Okay? And so in other words, they talk about the priesthood, and it's the Almon priesthood. Okay, there it is, Amun. Amun. And so there's your word for Almond. Okay, and so if you know about the Amun, right, because they were told to put their staffs in all together inwardly, and whichever one budded the almond branch would be the priesthood, and it was for Aaron, right? But remember, he made the golden bull, not a calf. He made a golden bull, and yet he didn't die with everyone else. So he was doing his job in this great mystery. But know what the almond represents, right? The almond represents two circles coming together, and in the middle you get that almond shape, which
Yeah,
is called the Vesica Pisces,
yeah,
right? And so it's two
yeah.
worlds coming together, the physical realm and the spiritual. And so they're calling themselves almond priests. So the word that is being handed to us is of a dark nature. It's not about, in other words, if would talk about priesthood, we would think they would be representing the light, right? But
Does
yet you
it?
see all the words, they all with the MN prime root, the MN, then it is of the moon of the Luciferian darkness. So that's the trick that's played. So literally, what we would want to say at the end of a text is not Amen, you know, and I've done it. I even sometimes do it today, periodically when I'm praying, maybe with a friend or something like that. I'm just because, in other words, remember the words don't have any magic power in the sense of like, okay, you're dead now because you used the word. It's about waking up to the truth. And
Being
so we
aware.
can
Yeah,
yeah, so in other words, I can still use the word, the name Jesus Christ when I'm talking to somebody on the street, but I know that I mean Yeshua Namo Eshayanke,
In your
Namo
heart.
Eshayanke, the one
Yeah.
who came through the fire and the water and was anointed and on fire. Okay, that's what the Mo Eshayanke. You can hear the word Moses there, Moeshan, Moeshan Yake. Okay,
Desert, I have a
it's
question
yeah.
before
Go
we
ahead.
get too much further.
I
Sorry.
just want to say that therefore we want to say, let there be light, and
Yeah.
therefore the light in the most primitive is Zorain. And so let there be Zor rain, what is flying through the sky, the Zor, okay, the circle, Zorro, Zera for seed, the Zar, all that's in Zar for star, okay, Zorain, meaning the eye that comes down, the eye that comes down. Why? Because the light shines down. So all of that is in there, and so that's a little presentation on the word heaven, okay, and how we see it evolved into the Sumerian Hittite, and that's how it came out of us in Egypt when we think of Amen Ra, right? Amen Ra, it's like saying the dark sun. Ra is light, but Amen is darkness. You see, it's occultic. They fooled all the people most all the time, and that's why they created multi-gods, right, which we call polytheism versus the monotheism, right? And as one of the priests said in a B-rated movie about Egypt, he says, we all know that there's only really one God, but yet for the people, many gods. There couldn't be enough gods, and even especially because it's good for business. And so go figure, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here. Okay, Ninja, go ahead. Do you remember your question?
I never know when you're going to stop. I
Well,
love it. I love it.
okay.
Um, yeah, that was unexpected. Yeah. Okay, going back to the two circles joined together to make the almond shape. Is that where the fish symbol comes from? That shape in the middle.
Yeah, it's creating the Vesica Pisces. That's a good point, Ninja. See, there you go, doing it again. Okay, I may not. I don't know if I ever made that connection. I can't remember. I may have it written down on a card, but you're bringing it to the surface. Okay, way to go. You caught a big fish, and that is the Vesica Pisces. In other words, you see, it was Mithraism that went underground. In other words, there's a dual system going on out there in the Roman Empire. We got Christianity, what we call Christianity, coming up, and then we got and these people are private. They're overt at times, but at other times it's a private society. They mind their own business. They're not out there, carrying crosses around their neck or putting on T-shirts saying "I love Jesus." None of that. That's of this modern time, and it's falsehood, because we're not supposed to advertise Yeshua that way, not to make idols and images, but we are the image. We put on Yeshua and represent him by our character, by our nature, and by our behavior, okay, and by the things that we say, and with accuracy. And so the fish. My contention is that the secret people that were going around and creating half a fish and the other one creating the other half were those in the secret occult society of Mithraism that was corrupted by the Roman Empire and through the Greeks, because the original Mithraism was brought to the planet through Zoroaster, also known as Zarathustra, and that was in Persia, and they also were the one culture that aborted monotheism or polytheism, excuse me, for monotheism, believing in the one God, Ahura Mazda, and that's why Cyrus, the king, when he conquered Babylon, let those remnants of Israel go back to rebuild the temple, because they were the same culture that also had only one deity. They all recognized their deity was the one. It's a simple idea. It's the play of the one. There is only one that made all things. And so if I say there's one, you say there's one, well, we must be talking about the same one, right? If we certainly if we follow a pure path. Now, if you're going around killing people, cutting heads off like, the Islamic, then whatever you're talking about has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, because mine is a divine light of love and peace and harms nobody at any time, and says love your enemies. So, but the other, so by their actions that whatever they're talking about has nothing to do with the one who made all things. And so, just to clarify that. Mm-hmm. So congratulations. But the fish is made by those in a secret society. Today we have people, get you putting the bumper sticker with the fish on it and
Yeah, that's
everything.
what I was
But
thinking
that's
of. Yeah.
but that's not of the truth. Okay, because number one, you weren't there. Number two, it's an image, and we're not to make
Yeah.
images. If you want to be pure, I follow that. Want to follow to the extreme, because I am the image. I'm the only image I can make other than letters in alphabets. Okay, so these distinctions, as we go deeper and deeper, we make. But it was in First John, at the end, where he says, beloved, my only loved seed, stay away from idols and images. Okay, so it says it clearly, and so I guess then it comes down to how one interprets that. But so anyway, I don't even like to have logos on my shirt with other companies. I'm not a
Yeah.
billboard
Yeah.
advertising for other corporations. So shall I continue, or do you want to finish that point?
Well, I do have some. Uh, I have one word written down which has kind of gone on to a few anagrams of that word, and I can see the connections, like between it all. If you want to go into that, or it doesn't bother me, I'm happy listening to you. So,
All right, well, let me knock out a few important words here, and then we'll, at any point, or when we come back from the break, then you can do a follow up, right?
okay, okay,
All right,
it's just
good.
something I saw the other day. Yeah, that I wrote down. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to get it out, I don't care. It's you're producing here, Ninja. So if you
Yeah,
want
but
to,
I love letting you go. It's all
okay,
good.
okay,
Um,
right, okay, very good. It's not all
okay,
good, okay? Don't.
okay, no worries. Um,
I'm not worried. Okay, it's not all good, and I'm not worried. You see, we got the word problem going on here, ladies and gentlemen. We do this all the time. It's sort of like our Abbott and Costello routine. No worries. I'm not
okay,
worried. What's on second? Okay.
okay. No,
Um,
you continue,
it's not all good.
and then we'll get
Go
into
ahead.
mine after the break
All
because
right.
I found something